Welcome back. Financial Issues. I'm Dan Celia. The Dow's down 109. S&P's down 12. NASDAQ's down 20. What is it? 27. NASDAQ's been getting killed. Apple had a real rough day yesterday. But anyway, we're seeing the Dow continuing to go down. Now, 66% of the time, I'm going off the top of my head, but I think this is accurate. 66% of the time, the market goes along with the first month of the year. So what that means is if January is a down month, that 66% of the time, if you believe in all this and you really care, that the rest of the year is going to be down. I am doing some analytical work on central banks throughout the world and gold. I'm having a little difficulty getting some of the information coming out of the central banks. Last night, late, I found a source of somebody that didn't know I knew somebody at a particular place that is going, that has privy to that information, not because it's secret or anything like that, but because they're in a position to be able to get that information. It's not that the information might not necessarily be public. It's just that it's very difficult for the public to get it. So I did have a conversation last night with this person, and they're going to try to help me out there and get some of the information from the central banks coming out of China, Korea, other parts of Asia. He was talking to me about Vietnam and Cambodia and other areas of Asia, Singapore. So I'm going to try to get a handle on that. I'm going to try to do a little analytical work on gold. I think this would be a year. This would be a year, folks, to consider, thinking about. I said this January 1st, so this is something new because the market's been down. I said it in the end of December. It's time to capture all those gains. You had a 30% year last year. You had a 16% the year before. It's time to capture the gains. And if you are anywhere near retirement within 5 years, you better grab a hold of it and start to capture some of it and think about a place to put it. Now, you can go to my website at financialissues.org. You can click on right underneath in the news section there in the middle box up top. There's a little logo there that says a case for income. Click on it and read it. Print it out or whatever. But click on that and read it, and I think it's going to give you some insights to what I think you need to be thinking about for a portion of your portfolio. And I think it only makes good sense for you to pay attention to that. So anyway, we'll continue to watch the markets, but right now, the Fed's coming out at 2 o'clock today. They're going to talk about what they have come to some conclusion. They started meeting yesterday. They're going to talk about, the official news is at 2 o'clock or 2:15, they're going to come out and talk about whether they're going to raise interest rates. Well, that's silly. There's no way on God's green earth they're going to do that, and everybody knows that. So it's really kind of a non-event. But the event is going to be the comments in and around that. They're going to be comments about the economy. Now, I don't place a whole lot of faith in the comments about the economy coming out of the Fed because they haven't been right in 5 years. Maybe this will be the year. But anyway, they're going to come out with comments. They're going to they have to talk about quantitative easing. So there are a lot of people that are in the camp that they're going to leave it at 75 billion a month that they are printing. They're going to leave it at that. They went from 85 to 75. You remember that. And they're supposed to be cutting along that same path every month. So that would mean 65. Are they going to go to 65? Or have they started to panic a little bit about the bad job numbers, the bad durable good numbers, the real unemployment rate? As a matter of fact, Ben Bernanke has pretty much come out several times and said he doesn't really believe in the unemployment numbers. The real unemployment numbers, the de-inflation that is going on in the economy. Is he going to start coming to reality, and are they going to come, Janet Yellen, I should say, come to the point where they've got to start having a little reality check about that, and are they going to reconsider going from 75 to 65, leave it at 75? Now, I went way out on a limb back in December and said, I think that before the end of the year, we could even see more than 75 coming out of the Fed, or more than 85, coming out of the Fed. we could actually see them starting to build back up their balance sheet. Be a huge mistake. But remember, they don't have a whole lot of tools in the toolbox. Matter of fact, they have none. So we'll have to wait and see. But a lot of people waiting for that. I don't know what the volume is so far this morning, but we know there's some people on the sidelines waiting to see what the Fed's going to say here today at 2 o'clock. And we'll talk about that before the end of the week. 866-300-9298, 866-300-9298. Let me go to Jordan. Jordan's calling us from Illinois. Hey, Jordan.
Hey. Thanks for taking my call. That's Southern Illinois, too. We like to separate ourselves down here. But,
I don't blame you.
I got a question. I've got a lot of investments going on and stuff and have had for years. I'm 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And a few years ago, I bought a few $100s of Iraqi dinar, not really believing everything about it. And kind of looks neat and everything. I got them. But my question is, what is your take on that whole situation?
Well, it's a great question, Jordan. And your instincts were correct a few years ago. I suspect that in the last few years, you've heard many times in the last few years that this is the month, or this is the week, or this is the day, or whenever they're gonna do this revaluation. The fact of the matter is, it is going to be almost impossible. Nothing is impossible. Anything could happen. But I would say this: it is extremely unlikely that is going to play out anything near what everybody thinks it's going to do. The idea that Iraq, first of all, is going to get their government together even seems like a foreign idea right now, almost impossible. But let's say they do get their act together and their government becomes stabilized. Everybody's out of there. Government's growing. They've got a lot of oil. Things are starting to thrive. And they decide that they got to do a revaluation of their currency. Because for the last 7 years, last 10 years, Iraq has been running the printing presses makes Japan look bad. Makes Japan look good, I'm sorry, because they've just been printing money like there's no tomorrow. So the idea that they're going to take all that currency and issue a new currency, and so now we have a new currency, we have a new government, we've got our act together, we're strong, we're stable. Economy, a stable government, and we're going to reissue the currency. And for every dollar, now we want to give you a chance to get some of the new dollars. We can't, in a year, in 6 months or whatever, we're going to make those old dollars, non-existent. So we're gonna swap you out. And we're gonna give you $1 of the new currency that is now worth $1 for $1 of your old currency, which you paid a penny for or whatever it is, and you're going to become millionaires. It's not going to happen. As a matter of fact, if they did that, they will immediately be rated as junk, and their currency will become as worthless as it is right now. So the idea of them doing that and trying to maintain any kind of full faith and credit. Remember, we have a fiat currency. So, it's going to be based on the full faith and credit of that government. That would just dramatically diminish the full faith and credit of the government, and they're not going to do that. They may swap out for the new currency, but they may say, give me 100 of your old dollars, we'll give you one of the new ones. They may do that, and that would be the logical thing for them to do, because that's the only thing they're going to be able to maintain any kind of value. So, hang on to what you have. I may be wrong, but the fact of the matter is, I wouldn't buy any more. It's going to be very, very unlikely for that to happen. So I guess that does that help you, Jordan? Were you going to?
Yeah,
okay.
Kind of what I figured.
Yeah.
It seems too good to be true and all that, but
It
was interesting. So.
Yeah, well, you didn't lose. If you only had a few $100s in it, that's fine. Hang on to it, and maybe I'll be wrong. I hope I am wrong for all the people. I know people that got a mortgage on their home to do this. So anyway, thanks, Jordan. Good stuff there in Southern Illinois. I sure appreciate your calling. Let me go to Jeff. Jeff calling us from Mississippi. Hey, Jeff.
Hey there. How you doing?
Good.
I got two questions. One has to do with PBR. I know you had put a sale on that a while back, and I think through some conversations you said when it got down to 11, you may be interested in it or something.
Yep, maybe.
And I'll see it's been taking a dump.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just going to see what you thought on that. But my main question I was wanting to ask about is I was looking at some of the other buys that you have on your list, and was looking at the information on some of them, and things like dividends, where they have like an ex-dividend date and a record date. Can you explain, like today, if today is the ex-dividend date, can you buy and still get that, or do you have to hold it to your record date, and just explain how that works?
Yeah, once a company declares a dividend, so they're gonna have a dividend on, whenever it is, they're gonna declare a dividend. Once they do that, you certainly can buy the stock, obviously, but you're not going to participate in that particular dividend. You'll get the next one, but you won't get that one.
So if the ex-dividend date is today, if you buy today, you won't get that?
No, you won't get that.
Okay, so you have to buy it before the ex-dividend date.
Correct.
And do you have to hold it to the record date?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
That's what I need to know.
Yeah, that's how that works. Good question.
And just your comments about
on PBR. Yeah, so here's the thing. I mean, I told those that partner with me on the website, I said, I think when PBR gets down into the $11 range, I may consider it may be possible that it could jump back on my buy list. Well, it's almost there. It's at 11.25 and some change, or somewhere in that neighborhood. So it's close to being there now. I'm still not a buyer. I don't like the fact. I mean, it's fallen. It's up slightly. I just got the chart. It is up slightly today, but I would not be. It's taken too quick of a dump, too fast. I think it could possibly underperform. Looking at some of the news that's come out of it, I still haven't seen their fourth quarter numbers yet. So I did say, when I said maybe around $11, once I see the fourth quarter numbers, I haven't seen their fourth quarter numbers and what they've declared. Fact of the matter is, PBR still owns an awful lot and controls a lot of the oil reserves in South America. They're a very large company. They've got a market cap of somewhere around $45 billion, give or take. And, they don't pay a dividend. They've got a great, price to earnings ratio. I remember, this is a company that I've followed for a long time. I remember when they were $100 a share, and they would move from, 80 to 100. So, I think that we're a long way off from that. But I will probably be, and if you own it, you didn't sell it and you own it, keep it. I mean, I wouldn't dump it here. I wouldn't dump it now at this point if it got to $5 a share. I mean, I would hold on to it, because I see one of two things happening. If things get really bad, they're going to sell out to somebody, which is going to help the share price, or hang in there, and they're going to see some recovery. So I would just leave it alone. I'm not a buyer here yet. I wouldn't even be adding to your position, because I think there's still downside potential. But I'll try to let everybody know as soon as it does hit my buy list again.
Well, I sold everything when you.
Oh, you did? Okay, good.
So,
okay.
But I was just watching it, and all the information I was seeing, I wasn't seeing anything positive.
Right. Yeah. There's no positive news out there. I'm waiting to see what happened in their fourth quarter. Something happened, and there were some write-offs and costs, and I haven't gotten that fourth quarter statement yet. And I get an audited statement. I get the full statement, not just what the general public sees. That's probably, their summary is probably already out there, but I've got to wait for the statement and go through it. So I haven't gotten that yet. So we'll see.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Dan. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate the call, Jeff. 866-300-9298. 866-300-9298. Let me just go to Anthony real quick. I don't have a lot of time, Anthony. Go ahead.
Hey, Dan, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I just want to, from you, this speech that the president done last night.
Yes.
I don't understand how he can get up there and say all the things he's saying, and you know that he's lying. And all the people around him, he's getting standing ovation for just about everything he says. And I mean, it just seems that they're unstoppable, and we're just all a load of puppets.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you stop them? How do you get people like that out of office?
Yeah. Well, you know how you do it, Anthony, and I really appreciate you saying that. But here's the important part: he's lying. The general public knows that he's lying. I think he did himself a huge disservice last night, even though there wasn't any substance to anything he said. But the arrogance of it all. How do you get him out of office? You need a House of Representatives with guts, for one. I'll talk about it when we get back off this break. Financial Issues, I'm Dan Celia. We'll be right back.